It began as just another Sunday talk show, polite smiles, coffee cups on the table, and the faint hum of studio lights. But within moments, the tone shifted. Jeremy Clarkson, the fearless TV host known for tearing through hypocrisy like a race car through mud, locked eyes with Labour leader Keir Starmer. What followed was not an interview. It was a demolition, live, unfiltered, and unforgettable. "Sir Keir," Clarkson began, his voice calm but cutting, "you've spent years telling us who you aren't. But does anyone in Britain actually know who you are?" The question hung in the air like smoke. Starmer gave a rehearsed chuckle, ready with a polished answer about principled leadership. But Clarkson wasn't smiling. His glare said it all. He wasn't buying a word of it. From that moment, the atmosphere thickened. Clarkson leaned forward, his tone sharper now. "You were against Brexit, then for making it work. You backed Corbyn, then buried him. You promise fairness, but can't define it. So which Starmer are we talking to today? The idealist, the opportunist, or just the man who wants number 10? The studio fell into silence. Even Starmer's team behind the cameras shifted uneasily. Starmer tried to regain control, talking about a future for working people. But Clarkson cut him off. "Working people," he said, his voice rising. "You've been in politics for years, Keir. Yet the people you claim to fight for, the ones outside London, struggling to pay bills, they don't even know what you stand for." The words hit like a punch. Starmer blinked, choosing his next line carefully, but Clarkson had already moved in for the next blow. Clarkson pulled out notes, quotes from Starmer's old speeches, conflicting statements from past interviews, even promises quietly deleted from Labour's website. "Here's the problem," Clarkson said, tapping the papers. "You say one thing to unions, another to business leaders, and a third on TV. Are you a leader, or just a mirror reflecting whoever's standing in front of you?" The audience gasped. Starmer looked stunned, his usual composure cracking under the weight of precision fire. At one point, Clarkson's tone shifted from sarcasm to genuine disbelief. "You talk about trust," he said slowly, "but the country watched you break promise after promise. Tuition fees, Brexit stance, nationalisation. Do you think people are stupid, or have you just forgotten they're listening?" Starmer opened his mouth to respond, but the interruption came like thunder. "No, seriously," Clarkson snapped. "You can't lead a country if you can't even lead your own beliefs." The tension was electric. The cameramen exchanged glances. Even the producers whispered offset. Clarkson wasn't interviewing anymore. He was interrogating. And for the first time, Starmer seemed cornered, fumbling for words, his voice tight with frustration. The man known for calm precision suddenly looked human, nervous, defensive, even angry. Then Clarkson delivered the line that would echo across Britain. "You know what I think, Keir. You're not a bad man. You're just hollow. A politician built from focus groups, not conviction." The crowd drew a sharp breath. Starmer froze. For a brief second, he looked like he might respond with fury, but all he managed was a faint, strained smile. As the interview neared its end, Clarkson softened his tone slightly, almost like a closing argument. "Britain doesn't need another careful politician," he said. "It needs someone who believes in something, anything. You can talk about growth, fairness, opportunity, but until you show some backbone, the public will never trust you." The honesty of it was brutal, but it was also the truth many had wanted to hear for years. The broadcast ended, but the explosion had only begun. Within hours, clips flooded social media. "Clarkson destroys Starmer" trended across platforms. Commentators from both the left and right weighed in. Some accused Clarkson of grandstanding, while others praised him for saying what journalists wouldn't dare to. The phrase, "Starmer shattered," became the headline that dominated the next news cycle. Even Labour insiders couldn't ignore it. Behind closed doors, party strategists reportedly discussed how one unscripted interview had undone months of PR polishing. Starmer himself stayed silent, but sources close to him described the fallout as a storm we didn't see coming. Clarkson, meanwhile, brushed it off in typical fashion, joking that he was just asking what half the country already wanted to know. And so, the question remains, in an age where authenticity has become the rarest form of leadership, did Clarkson merely embarrass Keir Starmer, or did he expose something far deeper? A political machine without a soul. A leader who's forgotten what he stands for. Because if one man with a microphone can shatter the illusion, what happens when the people finally do?